So it looks like ICE is altering police databases to erase people, like erase people's records, like people who have Hispanic last names, getting rid of their social security number data, their driver's license information. So when you get pulled over, it doesn't look like you're a fucking citizen. And they could do this to anybody. And there's a TikTok creator on here who is white cis dude, but posts a lot of anti-ICE kind of content like me, a lot of anti-establishment shit. And they had officers show up at their door, tell them they were not a citizen, and try to deport them because their records had been changed in the systems. And there is a current court case going on because of it. And I'm starting to see more and more stories of people being pulled over who are citizens, who are having to prove their citizenship because their information isn't in databases, especially people with Hispanic last names.
ICE is wiping people's identities away just for their last name. I saw a video of a guy who got pulled over the other day, white presenting man, got pulled over by the police. They asked for his ID. They told him they couldn't find anything in the system, asked him for his ID, asked him if he had several different IDs from other states, which he did. He gave them those, asked him for his social security number, couldn't find anything about this man in their system. Called the sergeant. The sergeant comes, checks him out, is like, cool, you're good. The guy's like, no, wait, why can't you find me in your system? The sergeant goes, you can thank ICE for this. They've wiped all of your information from the system. They flagged you because of your last name, because he has a Hispanic looking last name. Not only are they flagging people, they're wiping people's identity away on record so that when they go to pick people up, they have no way of verifying whether or not they're actually a US citizen. Understand the severity of that. They are wiping people's identities away who may be valid US citizens, who are US citizens, who live in America. They're wiping their identities away in order to justify picking them up and deporting them to a country that they've never been to. We are at war.
Imagine this. You are born in the United States, you have a birth certificate, a social security number, and maybe you have never even gone outside of the US. But one day, out of nowhere, ICE comes knocking, asking you for proof you are supposed to be here. You check a government database to bring out something, maybe a jobs application, passport or ID, and suddenly your name's missing, gone, as if you don't exist. Why? Because you are Hispanic. Sounds like a plot from a movie, right? But this is real life, and this is happening in the US. Let's talk about what's going on, how US citizens of Hispanic backgrounds are being erased from the system by ICE, and why this matters for everyone, not just the Latinos. So guys, so welcome back again to my channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So in today's video, I'm going to let you watch what people are talking about, how ICE is erasing people's name from the database. Some people are sharing their stories as well. Well, I'll let these videos roll, then I'll come back with the commentary. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and credit to all creators on this video. Let's go watch.
So I'm here with my nephew, Adriel Lorenzo, who was born here, U.S. citizen, born in the United States, in Brooklyn, New York. In fact, I was behind the ambulance when my sister was going to give birth with him at Long Island College Hospital in downtown Brooklyn. Today, this morning, on his way from work, a U.S. citizen, this is happening, people, pay attention. A U.S. citizen was stopped by ICE and harassed. 8 officers surrounded him, asked him if he had a fake ID when he presented his state ID and his driver's license. They cut up illegally his legal state ID and asked him if it was a fake driver's license. They detained him unlawfully without probable cause, just getting out of his car, coming off from work, working with children that he works with, going into 7-Eleven. I'll let him tell you how he feels. Adriel, how did you feel at that time? What power did you think you have?
Well, you don't have no power. You can't defend yourself. Everything going around with them talking about you're powerless when there's people surrounding you and they're saying that they can shoot you down and all they will give you is your remains to your family. It makes you scared. You can't say nothing. If you curse the cops out, they can take you down. They said that my documents were fake. They asked for a green card. They asked me many times where I was from, what's my ethnicity. It was like it was racial profiling. I got stopped for absolutely no reason. I did nothing. When I was there, you feel scared, you feel hopeless. You don't have your phone. You can't call nobody. You don't have your wallet. They took both of my identifications, cut it up. They cut my ID up. They told me my driver's license was fake. And my driver's license was just renewed and issued about a month ago. So I have no idea inside of Florida, the back of Florida's IDs have a little picture to determine that your ID is real or if it's fake. for them to, what happened was just, it's a lot. So
How long did they hold?
about 35 to 40 minutes.
What happened when they released you?
They basically said that you need to carry all your documents to have your social security card, and I need to be more careful going forward and not to be carrying 2 identifications.
What is it illegal to carry 2 identifications?
Yes, 2 identification cards. That's what they said.
Did they told you it was illegal?
They said it was illegal.
It is not.
2
It is not. I have my passport card and I have my driver's license.
But I had my
There's no
state ID.
statute. That's okay. There's no statute that says that it's illegal in the state of Florida or any place that I know in the U.S. to carry multiple IDs. In fact, it's better to carry more than that's sufficient.
Why did they cut up my ID?
That's a great question. We need to find out. Did you have what the names? Did anybody call any of them by name? Do you remember?
I don't remember any of them.
Okay. All right. I understand. What happened when you got in the car? What happened when you got back in the car? How did you feel? What did you do?
I panicked and I called my uncle, and I cried for a while, and I was just scared to even drive home because imagine you getting stopped again. There's ICE checkpoints all over. They're checking random cars. They're stopping people because they have temporary tags in their cars because they think they're.
Did you have temporary tags?
No. I had a Florida tag, and the car's actually registered to my mom.
I know.
She's an American citizen as well.
Right.
So.
So, folks, I'm just sharing the story with you because it's important that people know exactly what's going on here. U.S. citizens, law-abiding U.S. citizens who were being stopped without any probable cause, no infraction, there wasn't a traffic violation, it's simply profiling. They stopped a U.S. citizen born in Brooklyn, New York, and I can testify, my name is Dr. Alberto Alexander, I was there when he was born in Long Island College Hospital, to my sister. This is what's happening. We have to let people know because this is coming into a police state and we are all under siege.
I was driving and I noticed a cop bang a U-turn hard. Turned her blues on, came flying up behind me. So I parked in a bank parking lot just because it was out of the way and it's Sunday. And so I am sitting there. She walks up. She tells me why she pulled me over. It was because of a inspection sticker. Not a big deal, really. Asked for my ID, give her my ID. And then she comes back over after, 4 or 5 minutes. And she's like, do you have an ID in any other states? And I was like, yeah, here's the other states I've had IDs in. And so I'm not thinking much of it. I was like, okay, it must be a clerical issue or something. And she ends up coming back a few minutes later, and she's like, okay, can I get your social security number? I was like, that's a first. I've never had them ask for my social security number at any traffic stop, ever. So I'm like, okay, here's the social security number.
They don't do that usually.
Then like 5 minutes later again, she comes back. She's like, yeah, so I'm not pulling you up in any of our systems, in any state you said you had a license in. She's like, I had to call my sergeant. I was like, okay, well, see how that goes then. So the sergeant ends up coming up. He asked me to step out of the car. But essentially plays back everything. He's like, is this a real license? I was like, yeah, it's a real license. He's like, this is a real license from that state. I'm like, yeah, it is. He's like, so there's no like security codes or holographics or anything. I was like, I don't know. It's just the ID they give me. And I was like, I even have the motorcycle permit in my wallet still. So it's like, I have that one if you want to see that one. He's like, hold on then. So then they have me stand in the back of the cruiser. The officer originally put me over. She stands there with me while the sergeant's doing his thing. And, I don't know, like 20 minutes later, he comes back over. He's like, I got it all squared away. You're all set. I was like, no, hold on. You just like basically told me I might be getting arrested. That you guys think I have a fake ID, which is another crime in and of itself. And I was like, basically, you guys told me you have no idea who I am or what I am, yet I gave you my license. What is happening? And then like you asked my social security number. That's never happened before. He's like, well, in all honesty, you can thank ICE for this one. I was like, what? He's like, your name. I was like, so because I have a Hispanic last name, I'm flagged in ICE? He's like, well, you're not just flagged, you're kind of removed from everything.
That would be too.
So I almost got arrested because of a system with ICE flagging a U.S.-born citizen who spent my entire life in this country since the day I was born. 2 generations of my family have been born in the United States, and yet I got flagged. And the kicker is my last name isn't even Mexican, it's Spanish. So I am Hispanic, but the last name that we have is actually a Spaniard last name because my, grandfather had a thing for Mexican women, I guess.
I had a thing for Mexican women.
So anyways, yeah, now I'm flagged. And he's like, yeah, this might keep happening to you now.
Wow.
Cool. Very awesome. So my little fun story of the day is I've been profiled. And, yeah. Good times. Good times. Stay icy.
Wow. So I thought this was a pretty important story, guys. It needs to kind of be shared and passed around. I would have done a duet with the guy, but he didn't have the option to do that. So anyway, if you have a Hispanic last name like me or like my family members, on my husband's side, is pretty important because these are the things that we already knew they were going to start doing. This is what fascism is. I can't scream it loud enough for some of you people, but enjoy your day, enjoy your quinceañeras or parties or trips you're taking or whatever you want to do, but just be careful that you might get pulled over and, have some complications. Anyway.
Why is it only the Latin Americans? You know what I mean? Why is it not the Australians? You know how many Australians I know that live here and actually take your jobs?
There are approximately 600,000 undocumented immigrants from Europe in the United States. How come we're not seeing them being rounded up? Is it because they're white and not brown or black?
And why are we only targeting Latino immigrants? Is Asian immigrants, black immigrants, white immigrants, European, dare I say?
I was an illegal immigrant in the United States of America, but because of the color of my skin and the color of my hair and who I am, I have never been questioned. I have never been questioned about whether I'm American. No one has ever said, do you speak English? Because they didn't assume that I couldn't because of being an immigrant. I am an immigrant in your country.
First, let's be clear. ICE, Immigration and Custom Enforcement, is supposed to focus on immigration law, deportation, visa overstays, that kind of thing, you get? But over the years, ICE has grown into a huge agency with access to all kinds of government database, birth records, driver's license, DMV record, even private database. And with the help of software and AI tools, they are now using algorithms to flag people they think might be undocumented. But here's the problem. The system isn't perfect, it's glitchy, it's biased, and it's making mistakes. And when that happens, guess who is getting flagged? Not people who actually broke the law, but citizens, US-born Hispanic, people who were born here, grew up here, and did nothing wrong, not being told they need to prove they belong. So what does it mean to have your name erased from a government database? It means that when someone like government worker, police officer, or TSA agent check the system to confirm your citizenship status, is showing nothing. No record, no confirmation. Sometimes it even falsely labels you as a non-citizen or unknown. And when that happens, ICE can detain you. They can start removal proceedings. Even if you were born in places like Texas, California, New York, it doesn't matter. There have been cases where US-born citizens have been deported. Yes, deported from their own country. That's not a conspiracy theory. It's a documented fact. And many of the people this happens to, they have Hispanic last names. Let's be real. If your name is Jose Hernandez or Maria Garcia, you are more likely to be flagged by ICE system than someone named John Smith. Why? Because ICE and its software, use pattern-based profiling. They flag people based on names, birthplaces, even where your parents were born. If your records show anything that looks foreign, you are automatically under suspicion. And when you are flagged, your legal status isn't renewed by a human at first. Is the algorithm that decides. And we all know what happens when biased data gets fed into a machine, biased results. Now imagine watching this and saying, oh, I'm not so Hispanic, this doesn't affect me. Think again. This kind of system can be used on anyone. Once a government agency can erase your system from a database error, where does it stop? What happens when the algorithm gets it wrong for you? What happens when being American enough is based on your last name, your skin color, or what knowledge or language your parents speak? This isn't just a Latino issue, it's a human rights issue. If it can happen to one group, it can happen to all. So what can we do about this? First, spread awareness. Most people don't know, this is happening. And that's why these creators are sharing their awareness to let everyone know about what is happening. Some of them sharing their stories. Second, pressure lawmakers, demand that ICE access to state database be monitored and limited. Support immigrants and civil rights organizations. And finally, vote support leaders who believe in protecting civil rights for everyone, not just the right kind of American. Being born in this country is supposed to mean something. It's supposed to come with rights, including the right to not be treated like a criminal just because of your name. But right now, too many Latinos are being erased from the system they are born into. Their names are being removed, their status questioned, their lives disrupted. all by a system that claimed to protect us. It's time to ask, who is next? Let's not wait until it's your brother, your neighbor, or you who's told you don't belong in your own country. By watching history repeat itself in slow motion, let's make sure we don't stay silent. Why happen? Well, guys, I feel so sad this is happening to people, and they are beginning to share their story and how they were stopped by ICE on their way home and all that. This is becoming real. Okay, if at all these guys are saying this is happening to them, then everyone need to be watchful and also careful. I don't know what it is, because maybe we should ask immigration attorneys, people who knows what's best to do. Okay, just share your thoughts with me in the comment. Let's just have that conversation. What do you think about all of this that is happening to people of Hispanic origin and all that? What's happening? What's all this? Every day one thing, every day one news, every day there is just something to talk about. Well, guys, share your thoughts with me in the comment. Let's have that conversation. I look forward to seeing you all on my next video. Please do what, subscribe, give the video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and see you all on my next video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Bye, guys.